the more I continue to exist in this world, the more I realize that I was never meant for this world. Truly, I wasn't. For as long as I can remember, I have always been a social bystander. I have always been a background character in some successful guy's journey in his perfect fairy tale life. And all I get is a front row seat, pretty much, you know? Like, I can see it, but I can't touch it. I can't have it for my own. And that's pretty much a lot of guys' lives nowadays. We go to work, we slave, we get nothing but looks of disgust, terrible treatment from our managers. Guys are always disrespecting us in subtle ways, you know, and then we come home, complain about it, go to sleep, eat, right? You indulge in your copes, and the cycle repeats itself over and over again. Even as far back as school, you know, it all starts in school. Even in school, I was a social bystander, just watching, just observing as all of these attractive guys got the girls and they had the social life, and I was just sitting there being picked on every day. And no one's going to save you from that. No one can save you from the life of a social bystander. Your fate is always going to be paved in stone like the Ten Commandments. Remember, your suffering is pre-written. None of us asked to be here. Our parents are always going to be at fault to a degree, right? Unless you get lucky and you have perfect genetics. But if you're sub 5, I mean, you didn't choose your genetics. Life isn't a game, right? Imagine if life was a game and we could pick and max out our stats and make sure our nose is perfect, our facial structure is perfect. But it's not like that. You know, although I don't hate my parents, the blame is certainly on them to a degree. But anyway, yeah, and being a social bystander has marked me, essentially. It has marked me as a black sheep. It's marked me as a outcast. I am forever doomed to walk this planet as a social outcast and a social bystander. And work is just terrible. Work is really terrible, man. It really is terrible whenever you're a social outcast, man. Because, you know, being in your 20s, I'm 22 right now. I just turned 22 this year. And it sucks because these are supposedly my prime years, and I'm spending my prime years observing every guy at my job talk to the girls that I wish I could talk to. But every time I walk past these girls, they stare at me with again, look of disgust. And then I feel like it's psychological. I feel like it's so, like, women's hatred for sub 5 men is so deeply embedded within their subconscious that they don't even recognize how rude they're being sometimes. It's like a default setting that women's brains go to whenever they encounter a man like me. And it's just so brutal because, like, a girl will be evil towards you, but then 5 seconds later, you'll see her talking to this guy. You'll see her talking to this Chad or Tyrone, and she's like a different person. It's like she has a split personality. It's so weird, man. So weird, bro. It's so brutal, so brutal. And being nice is a waste of time also whenever you're a social bystander. You can try to be a nice guy and open the door, you know, it's going to get you nothing. No acknowledgement, no thank you, no nothing. I'll tell you a little story about a time I tried to be nice to a girl at my current job, right? So there's this girl, right? There's this girl, and she's very attractive, you know? And one day, she was working and she dropped her phone. And I just so happened to be working right next to her. And I go to pick up her phone and hand it back to her. And you should have seen the look on her face, man. Like, she was, like, so repulsed by me. She was, like, it was, like, ew. She's, like, her whole aura and mood was just, like, how dare you pick up my phone and be a nice person? How dare you, you know, retrieve my phone for me? You know, it's, like, so nothing you do matters, man. And it's not like I just go to work looking any kind of way. I make sure to get haircuts. I make sure to apply deodorant. And, you know, I take showers every day. I make sure my clothes are washed. I make sure I have all the essentials I need, right? because I'm so paranoid. Because for the longest time, I tried to figure out why I was a social bystander. I thought maybe I was, making the wrong decisions. So I just overanalyzed everything and I tried to apply everything that I thought I needed. But little did I know the real answer was my genetics. It was my sub 5, genetics, and it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. It does not get better. It only gets worse. It only gets worse, man. Like, I'm just stuck in just a perpetual state of rejection forever. Like, this is my life. I was born simply to suffer. This is no life. No one deserves this fate. No one deserves this fate. And it sucks even more for me because it's like, my siblings don't have to go through this. My siblings are all dating. They all lost their V card. They are all successful men. And that's why I feel like my life, my suffering was very intentional. Whoever is the creator of this realm clearly snubbed me and made sure that my siblings were successful. That's the only explanation. Because we have the same parents, the same two parents. We come from the same two people. So how is it that my brothers are taller than me? I'm like 5'6". They have a better facial structure. I have a messed up asymmetrical face. There's no way, man. There's no way impossible that my pain, my suffering isn't intentional. And every day at work, man, I tell you, man, I see all of these guys. I see all of these guys talking to these women with ease, man. It's so easy for them. And these girls are just open and receptive towards it. But every time I walk past a girl, and I said walk past a girl, not even attempt to approach, but walk past a girl, it's nothing but looks of disgust and just... And it's like a behavioral... Like, it's like their behavioral... the way they behave just changes, right? Because whenever a woman finds you to be physically unattractive, she automatically thinks of you as a creep. So even if you're just acting normal, right? You could be a guy where you're just acting normal. To you, right? To you, you're just acting normal. But to a girl who finds you to be unattractive, she's going to assume that you're just a weirdo. So she's going to have this uncomfortable energy around you, and it's going to make you feel some kind of way if you're aware enough to see what she's doing, right? But you have to be very aware. You have to be very aware and perceptive of your surroundings. As a sub 5 guy, even when you're not doing anything, you're still in the wrong. Because women are just in control of how you're perceived. Like, women control your perception. Women control how you're perceived socially by the masses. A woman can make or break your job, your social reputation, everything. So you have to be very aware of that. I'm not trying to paint all women as a villain. I'm not saying every girl is evil, but a lot of the girls that I encounter are very, very just rude towards me for no reason, man. And man, it's so deep, right? It runs so deep. It got to a point now that, because I work at a warehouse, right? I work at a big warehouse. And sometimes a girl will be walking towards me and I'll be walking towards her direction. And it got to a point to where I would just veer off to the side and walk around so I don't have to, walk past a girl anymore, because I'm so tired of women looking at me as a creep. And I also stopped just giving eye contact, because every time I will make eye contact, it's always just the same look. But I don't mean to rag on and say the same thing over and over again, but I mean, that's my life pretty much. My life is the same thing over and over again, This is the only thing that happens to me. Before I sign off, I'll tell a small little story of what happened today, and it ultimately led to me making this recording. So pretty much, like I said, I work at a warehouse, and a warehouse job is pretty much high school for adults. Everyone is trying to be popular. Everyone is trying to click up, and everything's about who's cute, who's ugly. Everything's just social, right? All of these normies are just stuck in the social rut where they have to be just, I don't know, man, they're all immature in their mindset is what I'm trying to say. So, girls there feel like Like a lot, and I mean a lot of the girls that I work with, they think they're like celebrities because, there's like so few girls there compared to the guys. So any girl that's mildly attractive at my warehouse job gets treated like a goddess because there are so few women there. So now these girls think they're like celebrities or whatever. And one of the girls who work at my warehouse job, she's like a small white girl, but her attitude is terrible. And she gets to be rude and have this terrible attitude because she was born into the easy mode gender and she never had to face any real hardships like men do. So she walks around as if she's just like a queen and she has like this evil attitude, but only an evil attitude towards guys like me. Okay, I'm yapping. Get to the point. I know, get to the point, right? But so in the warehouse, right, we work with carts. We have to push carts around. So I'm pushing my cart down the aisle and I'm trying to go to a specific lane so I can do my job. And it just so happened that she has to go to the same aisle as me. So her cart is like me and her, I got to the place before her, but she's trying to also set up shop in the same area as me. So she sees me trying to set up shop in the aisle and she asked the question what aisle are you going to? Because, I guess me and her were going to the same one and she was trying to see if I'm going to where she's going essentially. So yeah, she asked me the question, what aisle are you going to? And she asked the question just like that. Her tone, you can just tell her tone was just so impatient and she had no tolerance whatsoever. And then I pointed, in the direction that I was trying to go to, right? And once she realized that me and her were going to the same place, she got angry. She became angry. And even though I pointed in the direction of where I had to go, she still asked the question 2 more times. And I kid you not, the next 2 times she asked me the question, her tone elevated even more. So the second time it was what aisle are you going to? And then the third time was, what aisle are you going to? And eventually I had enough. And I just said, right there. I said, I'm going right there. And then she had the audacity to just run her mouth again. But she walked off and went somewhere else. And it's just that's what happens. That's what happens when you're a social bystander who's sub 5. Women have no tolerance for you. Women have no patience with you. Right? If I was a guy who was 6 foot, good looking, she would not talk to me like that. She would be playful with me. She would have tried to make small talk with me because I see her do it all the time with other guys who are taller and attractive, or I see her do it with guys who are more taller and more attractive to me. I can't talk, but you get what I'm trying to say. She would not do that to a Chad. She would not do that to a Tyrone is what I'm trying to say. And it's just that's every day for me. That's every day. And it's so funny because regardless of how evil and mean she is, she's still going to have an easy life. She's still going to go about her day, clock out of work, go home, go text Chad, go text Tyrone, and again, never face any hardship, And it's just so unfair, man, so unfair. But yeah, being a social bystander is a death sentence. It really is, man. It's so weird, man. It's so weird. Because obviously, you don't choose his fate. The fate chooses you. And I don't know anymore. I just don't know anymore. I don't even know why I'm making this, man. No one's gonna watch this. No one cares. And that's the biggest problem too. It's I have no outlet to express myself. My family always gaslights me. No one can relate to me. I'm the only person in my family who is a social reject. Everyone else has a normal life in my family. My cousins included, my distant cousins, all those kids, right? All those people in my family are good. They are all good. They all have a partner. And I'm the only one who has to suffer through this. And it's I have nowhere to turn, nowhere to run. And I've resorted to doing this. But even this, man, even YouTube is just luck. All of this is just pure luck. You have to hope the algorithm cares about you and pushes you to the top, man. But anyway, hopefully this made sense. Hopefully I wasn't yapping too much. Hopefully this was coherent, because I just got off of work and that incident just took place and I'm just kind of I'm over it. I really am over it, man. I'm so over it, but I'm gonna try to get some rest and just relax. Take care.